You know, I gotta say, Incarone, it sure has been fun making these podcasts in this good old season of spring 2021. Where do you think we'll be in 2 years from now?
Your forehead is big.
What the fuck?
Team Code Red.
Welcome back to Team Code Red on Air's special podcast, Are We On Air? Where we ask the question, are we on air? Today, if you couldn't tell, is a very special episode, which is why we're all dressed up in gold. If you're watching on Spotify or listening on Spotify, just imagine us all wearing gold. Because today is a very...
There is video podcast on Spotify now, so...
Nice! So I wasn't wrong for saying watching on Spotify. Well, hey, if you're on Spotify, then you get to see it too. Congratulations. Today's a very special episode because...
we killed a dragon and stole all of its gold.
Yippee!
And decided to all wear it.
Yeah.
That might be what happened, or maybe it's TCR's 3-year anniversary, and we're celebrating that instead, which is the truth. You'll never get to know. But for the sake of the podcast, let's just assume that we're doing the anniversary thing. So, as usual, I am MossKnight, aka Leaf, and I am joined by everyone else.
I'm Incarone, also known as Ryan. Maybe.
Question mark? We're not too sure.
I forgot.
See, the theme of this podcast is you don't know if we're telling the truth or not. Due to budget cuts, I tell the truth and a lie 50% of the time.
Team Code represents Are We Gaslighting You? It's the new show.
Yeah, that's why it's called Are We On Air, because it's just all lies.
Yeah.
Neon Firefly.
Whoa.
Okay, fair enough.
I am Aaron, also known as Tangerin.
Or are you? Also known
And
as
I woke up
Got him.
15 minutes ago.
Me too.
Did you say you were... Oh, sorry. I thought you said you were born 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That too.
I'm actually Benjamin Button, so in the time it took for us to start this podcast, I went back to 20.
That's wonderful. Thank you. What better way to kick off an anniversary? So yeah, the theme of the episode is just going to be TCR as a whole. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about our history, how we joined TCR, our favorite memories, all that stuff, everything that's made the last 3 years most memorable. So
our favorite members, our most hated members we want to kill and kill.
That segment too, yeah.
Members we're gonna kill.
Ex-members that we want to bring back to put in a guillotine.
Members we already killed.
With a guillotine. All the good stuff. So,
Member lol.
I suppose we can get started with the story of how TCR came to be. Because a lot of people don't know this, but what I'm curious about is who here even truly knows. So I could just tell the story, or Ryan could. But Neon and Aaron, how much of the story do you guys know? Do you know how Team Code Red was born?
No.
So when a team and a Code Red love each other very much.
Do you genuinely not know like anything at all? Do you even know like when or what the inciting incident was?
Vaguely, but like I don't not really. It's kind of like I think we talked about it, but I can't remember.
I'm a horrible person, but
full stop. I'm a horrible person.
That's how it was. How it was made.
Because Aaron was a horrible, shitty person.
All I know is that I got approached in high school, and my mouth was duct taped, my arms were tied. I was thrown into a basement, and they said, "Draw for us, wench." And I said, "Okay."
That's basically what happened.
You couldn't have, because your mouth was duct taped.
Yeah.
You ripped it off. I ripped it off with my telekinesis that I have.
While you were tied up.
Yeah.
The actual story of how Aaron was recruited was a fun one, which she will tell in a little bit. But I suppose we could just actually tell you guys how it all started then.
Call this the Legend of the Art Table.
So it was grade 11 for all of us, but some of us were in different places, some of us different countries, possibly.
I wasn't real.
Myself, Demonic Void, Arma, Incarone, walked into a bar.
And we all went, "Youch, that hurt."
Illegally. Yeah.
No. We met in an art room, and only me and Demonic Void knew each other. We didn't know any of these other bozos, especially not Incarone. Because you know what? He was the new kid at school. That's right.
Yeah.
He was the new
Ew.
kid.
Why didn't you guys bully him enough?
Why
We
weren't you
didn't
mean
have
to him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't you make him go back home?
Funny story. was the
Awkward.
Anyway, so yeah, we met Ryan, and I don't know, we just kind of formed this little like table of misfits that our teacher didn't really appreciate. I think she saw the beauty in us, but I think we just kind of radiated like creative nerd energy. So we just kind of pulled Ryan in from like the space beyond space. Just sucked right in. At first, it was just a table. We just did art together. Didn't do art together, depending on how much we liked our teacher on the day. We would eat lunch together, but the ball did not start truly rolling until me and Rylan, what the hell?
Who the hell is
that? Realized we had one thing in common. We were both
Gay.
huge. Yes, that was it. Both huge nerds with super elaborate fictional universes that we just really, really wanted to tell people about. And we got into a habit where, I would just draw my superheroes, and I'm like, guys, look at my superheroes. And we're like, wow, and I would tell Ryan about them. And then Ryan would tell me about this universe he has, and I'd be like, wow. And we would just be like bouncing. And how the team aspect began was when I was talking about my superhero comics, which would eventually turn into Warhead, which is a book that we actually made. We talked about dubbing them because we all just kind of also had an appreciation for voice acting. So we were like, let's dub them. Let's dub the comics. And I was like, yeah, let's dub them. And at the time, I was doing my comics on my own completely under the name Code Red Comics. You see, that's where Code Red comes from.
Whoa.
I see nothing.
Thus was born Code Red Dubs.
These sunglasses aren't actually see-through, they're painted on.
I believe it. So yeah, Code Red Dubs was the first era, the blueprint of what would be to come. So now our group was just kind of a little more solidified. Like, yeah, we're Code Red Dubs now. And then the world got shut down like immediately. So
Code
now we're all
really
trapped
said it,
inside.
no.
It literally just said no. But that wasn't gonna
He
stop
was like,
us.
stop it.
Nah. Because I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm still gonna write my stuff and draw my stuff. But I was like, Ryan's really good at telling stories, which I knew because Ryan had shared all his stories with me.
Nope.
So I was like, I wonder if Ryan could make something better out of this one character I have. So I gave it to Ryan. He went into the kitchen, and when I tell you he cooked, my belly has been
And we
full ever
let
since.
him, that's for sure.
And I was like, damn! Like, I was so genuinely impressed. I was like, holy shit, that's way better than I would have come up with.
Yeah, I did not follow Leaf's prompts at all.
At all. I literally was like, so here's these characters. This is kind of like their dynamic. This is the general vibe of the story. And Ryan's like, yeah, fuck that. Changing this, creating this new setting, these new characters. I'm like,
Ryan was like, fuck that, I'm gonna kill them.
I thought of it while I was brushing my teeth. the whole plot was just like I was brushing my teeth and I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Urethra.
Yeah. And to say I was
What?
impressed really is an understatement. So,
I think I just heard a word.
Oh yeah, okay, I actually just found it. So it was like really early in March. Maybe right before actually the pandemic started, like 4 days before, I think. And at that point I was like, damn, I want to make stuff with people. And then my mind started spinning. And so it's our anniversary on May 20th. That is what we celebrate as 3 years of TCR, because that is when the team was proposed. But the first mention of
That's when we proposed to the team.
Yeah, we all got down on one knee together. But it actually goes back to March 18th when Ryan asked me what what's the plan for Code Red Comics to become? And I was like, oh, well, like maybe we could eventually do like other stuff too, like podcasts. And I think some of the branches I suggest were, I'm reading this live. This is real. I said Code Red novels, Code Red illustrations, and Code Red Studios.
What the fuck
studio
is
name for
that? That's stupid.
And that was March 18th.
I bet if whoever leads that branch smells bad and is dumb.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah,
she
I
smells
bet.
bad. I bet no one likes her.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Okay,
I
damn.
agree.
So
I don't know. I just want to be involved. Sorry.
okay, we'll get to you
Good
soon.
job, team.
You know what? Nayan, interrupt my story real quick. Tell us, where were you during March of 2020? What were you doing during all this?
COVID.
Man actually made COVID.
I was in India and it's high school and my school closed down and I was playing video games all day. I was playing Apex Legends and making video essays. Well, I started making video essays at the end of the year, but I wanted to make videos.
There
I
you
was
go.
streaming.
So all across the globe, Nayan was being a little creative goofball, and it would still be a very long time before we found out that she's a real living being.
Yeah, I didn't come into existence until soon.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so back to the timeline. It was according to a pinned message in the Team Code Red official Discord server. It was May 20th, where I sent an image with the revised branch ideas into the chat, and I was like, "Everyone, get into a group call." And Connor said, "This is a quote from Spooky Bro: Get on board, fuckers."
with
our
an
guy.
H.
That's our
With
boy.
it was with an H. So yeah, and so we kind of spent that whole summer just
Where
like
was
making
the A?
the H. Let's see here.
It was FUHKERS.
Yeah. And I can vaguely remember talking about it in the call, but again, that was 3 years ago, so not entirely. But I just remember talking to Ryan and Ren, and then we were like, yeah, let's pull this shit together. So 3 years ago, it was proposed. We had 6 branch ideas, and most of them are actually real now, which is kind of cool. I think so. The original pitch was a comics branch called Code Red Comics, a podcast branch called Code Red Conversations, but as you can tell, that's not what it's called.
So
Missed opportunity.
wait a minute, that's not what our podcast is?
Now this is kind of weird. The next one was our gaming branch, but not like playing games. I don't think. I think that was like for game dev, and it was called Code Red Worlds.
That's
Whoa.
stupid. We should never do that.
No, I'm pretty sure Worlds was the novel one.
But on the thing, it was
Wait.
tied to gaming.
Was it?
Yeah, and then streaming was Code Red Let's Play.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, we had the streaming branch and the let's pray the normal video.
Let's pray.
Let's
That's our
Pray.
Allah branch.
Jehovah's Witness.
That 5 times a week.
Praise Allah.
5 times a day, not a week. I'm sleepy.
We had the streaming and gaming separated for some reason.
Yeah, I know. And then, so the only one that doesn't exist right now is a writing branch called Code Red Literature, and then the animation branch, Studio Code Red.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not really sure with the literature branch I'll ever have.
Yeah.
My original plan was to save Code Red Arcade for the game dev branch, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Nobody listened.
It should have.
Nobody listened. Everyone's like, nah.
But yeah, so it was that day where we proposed the team, and basically everyone from Code Red Dubs was like, yeah, except for one who was like, nah. And we were like, okay. And then whoever that was, I guess, like just pooped their pants and then left, and we never saw them again.
Got cast straight to hell.
Yeah. And thus began the official TCR era. And we started strong, just like a summer of like brainstorming comic stuff. We didn't do much podcasting at all until like winter of
The winter solstice.
I guess in 2020. Yeah, it was like December 2020 when we did the first ever in-person recording. But at that point, we had recruited Aaron. How'd that happen?
That's when TCR went downhill.
So tell us the story, Aaron. Tell us your TCR lore. Tell us first how you learned about TCR. Like, when did you first hear about it? And then the story of how we got you. Because that was pretty good.
Okay. You'll have to forgive me if my memory's a little hazy because it's been a while.
I will never forgive
But
you for anything.
my name is Tangerin, and this is my story about how TCR saved my life. It was after COVID. Well, it was kind of after COVID was after lockdown was done, because we had our lockdown and then we went back to high school, and then they were like, just kidding, here's another one, and we're like, okay, cool.
Yay!
And I was in art class, and my life sucked because I had no friends anymore.
Deserved.
And I just had like surgery a few months prior and got an organ removed after like 6 months of suffering, and I was like, this sucks. And I was never at school because I was always hurting. And then I was in art class, and
To be clear, this is the different art class. This is grade 12 art class.
oh yeah,
not
it was
grade 11.
it was a different art class, but I was with former member TBD, and he was really the only. I mean, I knew Leaf before, and I knew Ren, and I knew Az, of course, but I don't think Az was in that class, right?
I don't think so.
No, I don't.
I think it was Dee Dee and Leaf and Ren,
I was there
and
too.
and
Racist.
yeah, I was getting to you.
Yeah, but I had to call you racist.
But anyways, I was hanging out, and then I met Dee Dee for the first time, and I was like, I must protect this thing. And I saw her art, and I was like, that rocks. And she was like, thanks. And then, oh yeah, and then Leaf came over to me with a little drawing and was like, guess what? I'm non-binary. And I was like, that's freaking awesome. And she was like, this is my name. And I was like, that's freaking awesome.
I still have that drawing.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, I love Leaf. Leaf's so
Me too.
cool.
I was there.
And then I briefly started hanging out with you guys, like very vaguely, like and in art class, like we would sit together. And then I remember. Okay, this is where it gets hazy because I don't remember exactly what led up to it, but I remember you guys talking about TCR, and I was like, "That's cool." And then I was learning about it, just like through what you guys were talking about. Like I think you would be like sketching characters or something. I remember Leaf, you were working on your portfolio for the college that you loved so much. But I was like, wow, that's cool. And then in my head, I was like, man, they're so cool. I wish I could be a part of Team Code Red. And then a few days later, everyone was like scheming, and it was lunchtime, and we were in our signature corner in the hallway. And then I got cornered, and they were like, hey, Team Code Red, huh? And I was like, uh-huh. And they were like, you're in it. And I was like,
if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure we like cornered you and did the fucking like one of us.
Yeah, you did. I was like, oh. And then you were like, think of a code name, and I was like, oh. And then we went back to class after lunch, and I took out my sketchbook and I started whipping out my first ever persona designs.
Wow.
But it wasn't too far off from my design now, to be honest.
Yeah, you feel pretty true.
I'm just yassified now. But yeah, I joined Team Code Red, and it was great, and I was like, tee-hee, hi, everybody, and then I still couldn't think of a code name, and how I got my code name was, we were brainstorming, and then Leaf just said, like, Tangerin, and I was like, whoa, that's awesome.
And I changed her life in that moment.
And you did change my life, and I'm very happy here, even though I get bullied all the time. It's really great.
Edit that out. Edit that out right now.
But yeah, that's my story. I don't know how much of it was remembered correctly, but because I don't remember what moment it was exactly that I was told that TCR existed. But
all of it was wrong. You were actually just like stabbed in an alleyway.
Yeah, I actually just died. I've been in a coma, and this is all not real.
Yep, basically.
I remember vividly when we were like planning it, because Maybe I'm
Planning the
remembering this.
stabbing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to stab Aaron. I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong, but I remember it being Ren who was like really adamant on doing like the "one of us" chant and like screaming to like Corning Hall because I'm a pretty confident person, but I don't think I was back then, so I don't think I would have thought of like
It was Ren.
cornering you. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad that you remember that too, because it's just like we're gonna corner her at lunch, and we're just gonna start chanting "one of us."
It's a very Ren thing to do.
It's very Ren. Ren was such a little schemer in high school.
Yeah.
Little freakazoid.
The one other thing I can share that I remember very vividly was not about TCR. It was years prior, but I still remember the first time I ever met Leaf.
Oh God.
I can't remember if it was grade 9 or 10. I think it was grade 10 because it was whatever grade that Matt had his locker by the science class. I remember that.
Yep, grade 10. I think
that was grade 10. And I remember very vividly the first time I ever met Leaf was I was over with Matt and I believe Brody, I think, over at Matt's locker between classes. And then all of a sudden, this little lady comes up to us with who I'd seen before, but I'd never met before. And she's holding a cereal box that's customized.
Yeah, I know it.
And it has the fat Loops cat on it, and it just says Loops ? And then she holds it over and she says, "Want some?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then she walks away. And I was like, that was awesome. And little did I know she would be such a big part of my life.
Yeah, that's kind of just what I was doing at the time. That's what I was doing with my life.
Insanity.
Well, it all worked out.
It did. And I remember when you had blue hair.
And pronouns.
Oh God.
And
Oh
pronouns. I remember your pronouns arc too.
God, the blue hair was not good.
It was creative.
Okay,
Not
what the
even
fuck?
denying.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was kind of ass. It sucked. It was horrible. What were you thinking?
Yeah. I don't know.
It wasn't that bad. So that's how Aaron joined.
That's how I got here.
Or is it? For that is the theme of the pod.
Right, yeah.
I'm actually not a part of Team Code Red. We're just gaslighting you again.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We've been gaslighting
Team
Aaron
Code
for the
Red.
last few years. Like, who even are you?
We just found Aaron on the side of the street with like
yeah, I was in
multiple
one of
stab
those
wounds.
box that said adopt me, and they were like, okay.
And so since Aaron joined, the team like went through like 20,000 transformations because we started with like 8. It was 8 people, and then during like the Dubs era, it was 7, and then we recruited Brody, and then we were back to 8, and then we grabbed Aaron, and then we were at 9. Oh, and then some other like blue person, DD2, brought us to 10, and then we lost someone, then we got another person, then we had 2 people come back, then we had another person leave, someone replaced another person, lost like 3 more people, and then eventually, thank the Lord, we got Neon.
Hello, that's me.
So Neon, it's time
We
for you
got
to tell
more
us.
diversity, finally.
The other brownie.
So Neon, tell us about how you met the people of TCR and how you got dragged in, because you also got a funny one. You were like one of the more elaborate schemes that we did.
No.
Okay,
There
it's
you
time
have
for
it.
It's time for you.
Okay, well, so essentially, I decided on a whim with no pre-planning that I was just gonna move to the same country as everyone else in Team Code Red, you know? So
I thought that was on
did-
purpose.
No, it was an accident. I didn't even plan to be here.
What?
So I got here and I was like, damn, I guess I'm here now. And I was trying to find jobs and I come into this one little shop and I apply for a job and somehow I get it. I don't know why. But on
Diversity.
my first shift, yeah, probably. There was only one other brown person working there anyways. So I get hired and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I come into my first shift and I see I meet Leaf for the first time, who was at Pride. MossKnight, who was going by a different name at the time and different code name. And then I was like, oh, hello. I am new, and we started talking, we got a few shifts together, and we were just like shooting the shit, and I was talking about my content creation and my streaming and my video essays and stuff. And then for some reason, one day, Leaf tells me that she wants me to play Among Us, and I was like, "What? Or why are we playing Among Us?" And so I was like,
One could say this was
"Sure."
rather
What the
sus.
fuck was that?
I haven't played Among Us in months, but sure, let's play Among Us, I guess. And I had no friends at the time, so I was like, "Yeah, I want to do this." Well, I had no friends here. I had friends back in the brown country, but you know. So I come here, I come play Among Us, and then I'm like, "Oh, that was cool," and I think nothing of it. I'm like, I got to meet cool people, and then like a few days later, at least like, "Oh, I forget what it was, but you told me that I needed to do something with TCR," and I was like, okay. And I was like not expecting anything. I didn't even know what was going on. And then there was this little mini comic that y'all made.
To choose your own adventure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. And then you made that for me, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. So I went through this entire choose your own adventure comic, and I was like, wait a second, what's going on here? It was like they trapped me and I couldn't say no, and like they locked me up. And
Yeah, it would be really. That's why we did it, because it would be really awkward then if you said no, and you'd feel really bad because we put all that work in.
So yeah, that happened. I cried a little bit, but yeah, no, that's what it was.
You said,
so upset.
that just happened.
And the rest is history. And I was only supposed to come in and be a gamer, but then I decided to make music. So
yeah, don't tell us everything you've done, Neon, because you've actually done like some crazy stuff.
I have well, apparently now I'm half of Arcade, which is weird. And other than that, I'm just the only person making music in Team Code Red for any and all of our projects that want or need music. What else have I done? Streamed, made a few videos here and there, made a few shorts. That's about it, really.
Yeah, Neon just casually got our streaming up and running after like 2 years, just like it was nothing. Just on the side, I was like, "Hey, Leaf, by the way, here's a full like 14-track album for your audio show." It's no big deal or anything.
The funniest thing about that is like I didn't even intend to do it. Like you asked me to do the intro, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like I wanted to, and then
I guess
I kept trying, and I was like, I can't do this. And then just one day, I was just started making music out of nowhere. Like it's like for a while, it was like a dry spell. I was trying so hard, nothing was coming, and then like just one day, inspiration hit, and I made like the synthwave track. And then Leaf was like, "Hey, that would be kind of perfect for Subliminal," and I was like, "Oh,
that's exactly what she sounds like."
Yeah.
She goes, "Hey, partner."
No saying
So I was
that,
like,
be.
okay. And then I was like, "Hey, maybe I could make some more tracks." And then I did, and I dropped 14 songs in like the span of what, 3 months. So
yeah, about that. So yeah, just casually made TCR history. And I was like, but yeah, it was no big deal.
Get complimented, idiot.
Get appreciated, asshole.
Got your ass.
I love Neon. I am a Firefly fan forever, for life.
Firefly.
And when Neon was like, "You know what? I hate all you guys. I'm gonna leave this town that we all live in." I was like,
that was a time.
I was like, "Screw you!" And so now Neon has a TCR hoodie and my custom TCR skateboard.
I cried so hard. That was sad.
And my balls.
Proof? What?
I gave them to you.
You have the
Now,
proof in
did you
your
lose
hands.
this?
Have them.
I ate them, I think. My bad.
Oh,
think.
that's okay. That's what they're for.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
What are friends for, you know?
Do you want to go into
Oh.
my side of the story of the beginning of the dawn?
I would,
beginning.
yeah. I was gonna say that before doing Aaron. I was like, Aaron or Ryan, do you want to tell us your side? But
Yeah.
I felt
But
that.
Leaf's racist, so
Yep.
Say less.
Okay.
less.
Less.
Let's hear Ryan's side of the story.
So you see, tragically, I was born in Quebec. Moved to the United States and was told, "Hey, you gotta go back to Canada. We don't want you here anymore." So yeah, and then got sent back to Canada. Obviously, big change and all that. I didn't have any friends, of course. I was absent for 10 years, not even in the same location where I was born. And the school year rolls around, and I get enrolled into a funny school that I hated and was bad, and I didn't like it.
Valid.
I stayed there for like a week, and then transferred to the school that everyone else went to. And I took art class, and I sat down at the art table, and it was Leaf Ren as who were like talking about Avatar, The Last Airbender, and I was like, damn, I want to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. I like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I was too socially awkward to do anything, so I just sat there the whole class, and then waited the next day to steal Az's spot so I could lay. I literally just like forced myself into the group. Because I was like, these people are cool. I'm going to forcibly become friends with them.
And it worked.
The rest is history. It's just funny that I had to rob Az, basically.
Hey, I do it every day. No judgment.
Did
Nobody
they
tell
say
us
anything
what's
about it? Or was
No.
she like, what the hell?
I guess we shared the desk, basically.
Well,
Az just like sat at the edge of it. Because it was like, I think it was Leaf was sitting across from me. The art class's desks all came together to make like a big table, and Az was just like at the end of it and was like sharing me and Leaf's desk, basically.
well, how much would everything have changed if Az was just like an asshole and was like, get out of here?
I would have just
Completely.
I would have stolen Ren's spot.
Yeah.
I also met Ghedi before I guess anyone else did in high school, because I know that Ghedi knew Emma like in the funny elementary time.
Didi knew Emma in elementary school, and I met
Aw.
Didi on her first day because she was introduced to me by redacted former member, and I met her for one day, and then that was like winter grade 11, and I never saw her again after that.
Nah.
I knew Emma before everyone else because I'm the coolest and she likes me the best. So
I remember because I would always just eat in the art room, because it was like the
he'd be
best
eating the
spot.
paintbrushes, he'd be eating the paint.
Yeah, I was peeling the paint off the walls and eating them. And
Yeah,
I was,
Ryan
like,
actually has a severe case of
That's
pica.
I actually have lead poisoning because it was lead paint. So
That explains so much.
I'm pretty sure it was the second semester where there was Ghedi in the art room, and I didn't realize. I only realized like way later. Wait a minute, that was Ghedi.
Hold up. A lovely tale.
It was really insane. If I had a nickel for every time a random person who is of color and likes the color purple ended up in Canada, in Kingston, in a place where I am, and became one of my closest friends and someone I love creating with, I would have 2 nickels and their names are Ryan and Neon. How did it happen twice?
Is it bad that like this is how I found out that Ryan was born in Quebec?
Really? You never knew? I feel like I told
I always
you
thought you
before.
were born in the US. I don't know.
No, I'm Canadian. That's why. If I was born in the US, I wouldn't be here.
I was gonna say, yeah, you know what? That makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. But yes,
Where do you think I was born, Aaron?
this is a
Does
trap.
anyone know where I was born?
Yeah, you were born in England.
Yeah.
What? Don't say
Yeah.
that.
No,
It's
I
true.
was.
It's true.
What?
Yeah.
If
Why do you think Neon doesn't have an Indian accent? It's because it cancels out with the English accent.
British.
So Neon
feel
just
like-
sounds normal.
It's
I feel
because
like I'm being-
they used to own me.
I feel like they used to own you.
Yeah, the British people used to own me. I'm Indian.
I feel like I'm being gaslit.
No, I was genuinely born in the UK. I only lived there for 2 weeks.
Why'd you
I don't
do
have an
that?
Indian accent.
That's
Why?
gross.
Okay, I'd
That's
like to
not-
go back to my previous statement. If I had a nickel
No.
for every time someone who was born in a really awful place went somewhere else and then got sent to Canada, is brown and likes purple, I'd have 2 nickels.
And Aaron didn't know.
And Aaron didn't know.
We had 2 nickels.
But yeah, I was born in the UK. I only lived there for 2 weeks, but it was a time.
It's
And
really
then
fucked up.
I grew up in Saudi Arabia and like the Middle East, so Okay, boss, I can do that.
Okay, if we end this podcast
However.
and it turns out all of this is a lie and you guys have just been gaslighting me the whole time, I'm gonna be like actually really mad.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we're not paying attention to the theme of the podcast.
Oh right, I forgot. I forgot.
And we want to get into our favorite TCR moment.
Yeah, I was actually just writing mine down so I don't forget.
Ah,
Oh god.
If anyone wants to go first, they can, because I have like.
No, I gotta think for like 20 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
I mean, I know my favorite project. As far as favorite TCR moment, I guess it's not really a TCR moment, but it was we were in Comtech class, and we were supposed to go get pictures. We were supposed to go take some pictures to do like some funny image editing, and a former member, Glint, actually, or was it as I don't know. So someone saw that there was like a chair in the river. This river behind the school, it like split into two. So there's like 3 sections of land, and the land that was next to us had a chair on it, and there was a chair in the river. So then it was like either Az or Matt was like, hey, let's pull the chair out of the river and set it up, and then go to the third side of the river split, and then take a picture of the 2 chairs. It was fun though.
Mine was probably when I got Among Us, or my like last day, where everyone just came to beat me up and leave me battered and bloody on the street and laugh in my face and be like, "You're leaving, bitch." That was my
Yeah,
favorite.
that's how it
You said,
happened. No
Get
one
out of our
cried at all.
town.
Nope.
I think we had like 7 goodbye hugs, because every time it was the last hug, there was another. So we did not want Nan to go.
What a time.
Oh, and Nan, don't forget you and Az's joint birthday where we went to laser
That was a
tag.
fun time. That was sick. Yeah.
I have a few. Actually, I have 3. My first one is when we recruited Bluebee.
Aw, tell that story. Tell that story.
That was a very fun. Leaf and I have been talking for a while. Leaf and I do this thing every like spring and summer where once every week we get on our bikes and we go ride around on trails and look at cows. And we were doing it a lot, and oftentimes we get into like long elaborate discussions on them about like the future of TCR and things we want to do. And one of the things we were talking about for a while, and that we were talking about in TCR with everyone else too, was recruiting Bluebee. And so, come August, it's her birthday. We invited her on our ride, and just a normal cow ride. And then we all went out. We were having a fun time, and then we said, "Happy birthday, Emma! You're in TCR." Yeah, we turned her into a cow, and we left her. And we said, "Happy birthday! You're in TCR, and you can't say no." And it was awesome.
No. we had to kind of like fight her to convince her to stay, but it worked out in the end.
It was a really fun time, and the rest was history.
Okay, my turn.
We'll alternate.
Oh, because I have so many. And Aaron, you being here just reminded me of another. So, my favorite moment from 2020 was when TCR was born, because I just remember it was so special. Like, when everyone was like so hyped to actually make stuff together, and I was so excited that people cared about like my stories and my comics. Because that was like a lot of what TCR was built on, was just like hyping each other, like caring about each other, and it felt so nice to feel that. And I don't know, like getting to like do concepts and stuff with everyone, like bounce story ideas. Like me and Ryan, Ren was there too. Usually we'd have a weekly
actually,
comic
it's
call.
Ryan and I.
I was gonna say that exactly.
I literally hate both of you. We would have a weekly comic call, and we had some of our like best ideas. So for 2020. When everything was just getting started, it was the weekly comic calls, because those were so much fun and so like integral to everything else that came after.
If I remember correctly, there was a point where like every single day we had like more ideas to throw out for the comics for Eniverse.
It was so much fun, because like again, after the whole arms thing where I was like, "Here, Ryan, let's see if you can turn something into this," and he just like gave me the best thing I'd ever read. I was like, "Okay, I need this guy to help me with these comics," and that was how we did it. It was awesome. So for the first year at least, that was definitely a really fun one. Was just getting to talk about the comics like every week, especially because we were in the pandemic. Like we had nothing to do, so just like every weekend going on call to talk about it. It was so nice. I still have the reminders on my phone for them.
It was Wednesday. Wednesdays
Yeah,
at
it was
2, right?
Wednesdays at 2 o'clock. Yep.
Aw.
So that's my first one. Back to you, Aaron, with the weather.
Okay, my second favorite one.
That's not a weather, idiot.
5.
Uh-huh.
Oh. I'm trying to remember who all was there. I know for a fact it was me and Leaf and Ren. I think Connor and Redacted and Matt. And we were it was when we were going to see Shang-Chi because it just came out in theaters and it was really good. And we all went and saw it as a group. Trying to remember how all it went. But we all went and it was really fun. Oh, and Emma was there. And I remember Emma was there because when there was the big moment, or one of the big moments at the end of the movie where he's fighting his dad, Emma leaned over to me and said, "Are they gonna kiss?" And I said, "Emma."
Yeah,
But-
it sounds like Emma.
Yeah, we finished the movie and it was really good. And our plan originally was to go to Denny's, but this was still like kind of when COVID started settling down finally and lockdown started settling down, so Denny's was not yet open 24/7 again, so they closed at 9. So we're like, shoot, what do we do now? So we just found a bunch of carts in the parking lot and started having shopping cart races and messing around. And it was lots of fun. It was great. It was a good,
That was
nice little
much fun.
bonding moment.
That was a good one.
Back to you, Mama.
If you insist.
Mommy?
My next one
Fucking
comes from
dies.
the 2021 era, which was just all the times that we got to collab with our good friend Sean Ghedi. Because there were so many moments that were so awesome. Because I think I talked about this one when Sean was on the podcast. Because he's been there a few times. But when they first asked, or when I first asked them to come onto the podcast and have a cameo in the comic, I was just so excited, and they were so nice and so excited to be part of it. It was so cool, and I remember telling everyone, like, guys, Sean's gonna be on the podcast, like, Sean's gonna be in the comic, and everyone was like, that's so fucking sick, because Sean is awesome, and we felt so cool that we were able to reach out to someone who was, like, significantly bigger than us. Like, he's tall. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He's tall. And have them like actually take the time to do stuff with us. That felt really special and really cool. And there was just so much happiness. Like I remember after the podcast we did with Sean, like I was so giddy and I was like, guys, this is the best podcast.
You're so Ghedi.
I was about to say.
Okay, nice, yeah, whatever.
We share one brain cell.
And that was really nice. And of course, having Sean in the Warhead as well with the cameo was also fun because I think Sean did a live stream and I think I joined the live stream. Yeah, I joined the live stream because Sean would always just like let me join, and I
remember that.
Yeah, I'd be working on Warhead and I'd be like, Sean, do you want me to show the viewers your design for the comic? He's like, yeah. So like I showed them all the little render of Sean's character in Warhead, and they were all like hyping it up, and I was like. That was really special to me and lots of fun. And also just Warhead in general. Like, that was so much fun. At times agonizing, but so rewarding. Warhead was just... Gosh, I will cherish Warhead forever, even though it is a product of its time and I'm rebooting it. The OG will always have a place in my heart. I love you, Warhead.
Place in your fart.
Yay.
Get back to you, Aaron.
Idiot.
Okay, I was tossing up between a few for my last one because I kept thinking of more, but the one I really appreciate, it was just like a small thing. It was literally just one night, and it was me and Ren and Ryan, and I was going through it mentally, and I was like, somebody talk to me, I'm going crazy. And so I got into a call with Ryan and Ren. And it was like the classic like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. call or something.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting there like, haha. And then at some point we all just got really passionate about talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
And we were just like making our own little video essay in our minds, just talking about like all the faults of Security Breach.
Yeah, we should have recorded it. Yeah.
We should have.
I feel
It
like
went on so long.
Whenever at least you and I talk about like any, I guess, game or show their passion back. So like also the Ruby
the
rants,
Ruby one,
like
yeah,
they
that's
go
the
on for
other
so
one.
long.
We're like, let's just do a podcast where we talk about nothing, and then the last like 40 minutes are just me and Ryan like ranting about Ruby.
Yeah.
It was a great little time. The other small one that I wanted to a very nice moment was when the place of work that Ren and I used to work at, that Ren still works at, it was like being built, and we would always just like go and hang out there while it was being built because Ren was the one like doing everything for it, and we would just sit at the table, and there was one night where Matt and Leaf recreated the iconic Mordecai Twilight Sparkle airplanes moment, and that was a good one. But there was a night where Ren was just like, screw it, everyone get your sleeping bags, get over here. We're sleeping in the store tonight. And I was like, sweet. And it was great. And we all had air mattresses, and we were playing like Splatoon and shit, and it was wonderful.
That was a really amazing night.
It was.
I'm stealing this answer from you because corner store sleepover was such a good one.
Oh yeah, and we were doing a thing at one point where we set up the phone somehow in call where like one of us was walking around in a sleeping bag. Okay, yeah.
This is the best thing I've ever done.
It was great.
I have made so many amazing things with TCR, but what I did that night is the best thing I've ever done and the ultimate use of my brain, and I've never done anything as smart since. So I just had this idea because I was laying in my sleeping bag. It was 4 a.m. Dee Dee and Aaron are just sitting there playing Nintendo. Az is like sleeping next to me, and then I just had this really stupid idea because I'm in my sleeping bag, right? So I get up and I take the sleeping bag off and I put it over my body. So I'm in there with the sleeping bag, and I have my phone, and I FaceTime Az. I'm like, Az, flip your camera around and face it towards me in the sleeping bag. So all I could see inside my bag was my phone screen, and my screen was showing me from the outside. I was seeing myself in third person, and we quickly turned it into a game where we'd use like the FaceTime like stickers and buttons to like have hearts, and we would take turns going in the bag. Everyone else would just be attacking the person in the bag, and we turned it into our own homemade real life third person like VR game, and it was so much fun. It was the best thing. It was so good. I've got more memories.
God damn.
TCR is just so much fun. Well, another group event was the TCR picnic that we did. That one was really fun. I made the warhead cake, and it was so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Other than that, like there's so many memories, and I spend so much time with every member that it's like I have so many memories with every single one of these people. Everything I do with these people is a really amazing memory. But one that really stood out like this past year, 2022, was just getting to do the in-person subliminal recordings. For TCR members, that was just me and Connor, really. It was still really cool for him and I to just like be chilling in this random basement that we stole and bring all these random actors who we blindfolded to come record lines.
And then we recruited Kingbit.
And that's also how we got Logan. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So that one was really cool too. That was like that kind of counts more as like a project memory, but it felt really cool to be in a studio like directing people. Like that was so wild and so much better than the other audio show we did.
So next up we got the favorite projects. I guess a favorite project, probably the Prank Master special.
Yeah.
It was a funny little trolling that Connor and I had thought of for April Fools. As they can find it was the first Studio Code Red video. April Fools was coming up, and then someone was like, "Hey, do we have anything April Fools planned?" Connor and I twirling our mustaches like they don't know. And like we dropped a fair few hints that we were plotting something throughout the time that we were working on it. It was funny because also Leaf's lines, I just all I had to do was just hop and call and be like, "Hey Leaf, say this," and then she did.
And I did it. I have a bunch. Aaron, if you want to go first, you can.
Well, I was going to, but I completely forgot what it was. Oh no, I remember. I have a small moment that was like an epic Aaron win moment that made me feel really good. So this was like around when I first joined Team Code Red. And we were having like one of our first real like meetings that I ever attended. We were talking about social media, how to boost our social media, like what more to post, stuff like that. And I suggested Fan Art Fridays, which is still a thing. And social media is different now, but we do have like a lot of prompts that we are still killing. But that was like one of my favorite projects was when that was starting out because everyone was like so passionate about it, and we were like pumping out different fan arts like every week. It was wonderful.
To be honest, I kind of hate everything we've ever put out ever. So
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, like, because we've put out a few like big ones, but Warhead the original obviously is one of my favorites ever. Prank Masters, totally, absolutely is up there among my favorites. Also, it was so good. I think I was literally ranting to Ryan this like last night about why I loved it so much. And Subliminal also is definitely near and dear to my heart, just because again, that was like the first thing I got to do like in person, like directing like people that aren't like members of TCR. Like I got to work with actors and do like editing, and getting to work with Neon's music was so satisfying. Like, ugh. If you're listening and you're like, oh, I need some music, commission Firefly.
Hello.
So Warhead, Prank Masters, and Subliminal, those are probably like my top 3 overall, but there's a bunch others, like if we count like mini comic arcs and like other special things we did. Oh, and Warhead Outbreak. That's probably also one of my most anticipated projects, because I'm so excited to get to work on Warhead, but better. So much to look forward to. I love it all.
The Hi-Fi Rush stuff I've been doing with King Bit Logan on the arcade channel has been a lot of fun. It's fun to it's fun to work with, and the editing has also been a lot of fun to do. Messing around doing stupid stuff, and it's funny.
I think what excites me the most is that there's so much like new stuff being made, but not the fact that it's like a new project. It's like new mediums. It's made me so happy, because we've changed a lot since we started from just doing weekly podcasts and one singular comic to now where we have constant gaming happening, streaming, music, big comics, mini comics.
I just think
TikTok.
it's so nice that everyone has something now, you know?
Yeah.
Also looking forward to some D&D stuff, because I haven't had
we're doing D&D! For those of you watching at home, we hope that you were emotionally touched by our conversations. And if by any chance someone's out there and you've been listening to this podcast since it began, god damn, thank you.
What a
Thanks,
loser.
Mom.
Oh.
Thank you, Linwood. Moral of the story is that I love TCR. I love Aaron, Ryan, and Neon so much. TCR is my best
Yay.
friends, and it is an honor every single time I get to be in a call or in a room with any of these wonderful, talented folks. It's enough to make a grown plant cry.
Yay.
I hope to see you next time. Go on air.
I don't.